everyone, this is Lisa Marie from Artistry by Lisa Marie. Welcome to the studio. Okay, so last time, let's see, what have I done? I've talked about how to draw or sketch straightforward, straight hair, grows out of the head, falls straight down. Then I talked about how to draw wavy hair, so it grows out of the head, and then instead of going straight down, it waves with those nice loose S shapes. Then took a slight detour in my studio because someone wanted to know about these faces that I sketch quickly, and I quickly showed you how to sketch a very generic, general face. Nothing very specific, just it's a face. Now, today, we are going to go over curly hair, and this is just to sketch it. This is an easy, quick way to sketch curly hair. If you want something way more detailed, then that's a whole other conversation. This is just if you want to have a nice sketch of this particular hair texture. So starting off, we're going to draw the hair in sections. We need to know where the hair is going to be on the head. Now, before, wavy hair, remember, loose S's, straight hair was just straight lines, or actually we did icicle shapes. Now, for curly hair, we're going to do tight S's. So, instead of loose, flowing, loosey-goosey S's, we're going to do tight. Think tight S shapes. So, instead of flowing more, they're going to be more close together. And that's actually how we're going to draw the outlines of the hair sections themselves. So, say she has hair, on her forehead, so bangs, that's what they would be called. We're going to do tight S shapes, or tight S's. And you can do lots of them, or you can do different shapes of those sections if you want. They can meet at a point if you'd like. Remember, they're going to be growing, the hair grows out of the head, out and then down, out and then down. But because of the shape of the hair, the sections are going to go out and then down as tight S's. So out and then down as tight S's. And then you can connect them with tight S shapes. Over here, it could go out and then down, but we're going to do tight S's. And you keep doing that shape, that concept of out and then down with those shapes, with that particular hair shape. So the movement of the pencil is going to be those tight S's. And out and then down. And you can give her some beautiful full hair with these sections. So it's just a pencil line, pencil outline of sections of hair. And her hair can be gloriously full, because that's always fun. I have a lot of fun drawing really full hair and curly hair. I really like drawing curly hair. I love the movement of the pencil. So you could do lots of sections of hair. And for the wavy hair, the sections were larger because they were large S shapes. For this tighter curly hair, the sections are a bit more narrow. They can be larger, but you're not going to have huge chunks of sections. You want the sections to be a little bit smaller because you're going to be having a lot of movement, a lot of sections of hair. And they don't all have to go straight down. Her hair's moving. Curly hair does its own thing. You can't tame it, you can't control it. You just gotta let it happen and let it flow and take on some beautiful movement. And these are these tight S's, and we're just having them meet at kind of a point down here. And so this is, let's see, her shoulders are there, There. There's her arm. There. So now you can see where the hair is going to go. Maybe behind her shoulders. Okay. Really give her some big, beautiful hair. I love it. Okay, so now we have the outline of the hair. Take your eraser. If you sketched a head beforehand, then you probably have a bit of a top dome here that you got to get rid of. Just get rid of the top part of the head. All right. So that's the pencil outline of the hair. Very straightforward. If that's all you want, then there you go. You've got it. But if you want to add a little more texture, a little more volume, some more dimension to all this, then we need a light source. So, gonna quickly just, let's see. Look, it's a lamp. Pew, pew, pew. Those are light rays. Those are rays of light hitting her head. So the light will be on this side, more light on this side, less light on this side, which means more shadow on this side. And not just this side of her head, but every single section that we drew is going to follow that same rule. So this section, for example, more shadow on this side. So now all those tight S shapes that we drew, we're going to do more, but only on the side of the section, each section individually, on the side that would be more in shadow. And yes, this can be a little time consuming, but it's also super fun. So those tight S's, you're following the shapes that you've already drawn. Get an idea of where that face is ending there. Okay. So this section right here, we have tight S's, tight squiggles. You can also do just, if you don't want to think S's, think zigzags almost. Trying to think of different ways to describe a pencil line. So following all of these individual sections that you've already drawn, you're gonna get, just naturally by doing this pencil gesture over and over again, following the sections, you're naturally gonna get a bit more volume and a bit more texture, which is what we want. Then we're going to go over to this side. So this would be more in shadow, so we're going to just follow that line. The outline of each section individually. Make sure there's lots of movement. By keeping that pencil movement. And her head is round, so it's gonna stop the light from getting all the way over to, say, this side of the hair. So there's gonna be shadow, a cast shadow. Her head is casting a shadow onto the hair right there. So we're going to make sure that's a little bit darker. And then go section by section, making those really tight S lines. And then almost there. Remember, this part of the head is going to be more in shadow than this part. So you can do a little bit more of these texture lines on this side because it's going to be more in shadow. Missed a section. Okay, so now you have a bit more texture, you have a bit more sense of volume. But now what if you want to go next level? Okay, well now we're going to have to do some blending and highlights. So I used my Graph Gear pencil to do all of that. I also have paintbrushes and my Mono Zero eraser. You can also use a kneaded eraser as long as it has a sharp tip point to it. You can use it. I'll put links to everything I'm using in the video description if you want to add them to your art studio. But now, next what we're going to do is blend. We're going to soften our pencil lines. I like to use a paintbrush. You can use any blender you like. And you're just going to go right over all of those pencil lines you just did. Go right over all of them. Sweep on over all of them. The nice thing with the paintbrush, especially because I can get paintbrushes of many different sizes and shapes, they don't completely erase or remove all those beautiful textured lines that we just drew. So you're not losing them. You're not losing that texture. It's still there. But now it's softening, it's blending, and I'm blending it right throughout the whole thing. So now we're getting a sense of dark, medium, and light. So when you want a sense of volume, something maybe a bit more realistic, go think of dark, medium, and light grayscale or shading. So you have dark shadows, medium dark shadows, and then lighter areas. So right now, we're already getting dark shadows, and now we have medium. We've got gray area because we've been doing this. And we're going to build off of that a bit more. But this is a good starting point. You could even just keep it like that if you really like it. You do you. It's your sketch. So now, remember, a fine tip eraser of some kind, because you really want to get some precision and some... They're not pencil lines now. Now they're eraser lines. But you're going to do the same movement, those tight S's that you did with the pencil. Now you're going to do it with the eraser. And before, remember, we did a lot of pencil lines on that side of the sections. Now, on this side, the side closer to the lighting, we're going to have more eraser lines. And we're just going to go, again, section by section. And what this is going to do is give you some highlighting in the hair. It's going to add to that texture that you've been building up. So remember, dark, medium, and light. Well, we had the dark, we have the medium, this is the light for a nice grayscale sketch. And you don't have to be smooth, you don't have to follow all the rules of the sections that you just did. You can go outside of those sections a little bit now. You can have a little bit more fun with texture. Hair is each individual strand. Even these tight clusters of curly hair are still individual strands. Now we want to push this a little bit further. So we have dark, medium, light. Yeah, sure, maybe. But now let's really push that dark. Pick up your pencil. Right where you know it would be really dark, the darkest parts, you can really press a lot harder with your pencil. Make those tight S shapes on those sides of the sections. For these other more middle areas, you can do more texture lines, but don't press so hard with your pencil. And you're still going to get beautiful texture while keeping that rule of dark, medium, and light. And remember, this is just one way to draw hair. I mean, it's hair, guys. It's its own individual, beautiful, natural work of art. There's so many ways you can draw hair. I think if you're going to sketch hair, you should feel free to experiment with how you're going to sketch hair. Experiment with different gestures in hair, hand gestures, not just loose S's, tight S's. Have fun with it. But this is just one way to quickly sketch some curly hair. And we're not sticking with those sections anymore. If you notice now, yeah, they're still there. You can still see where we originally drew them. But now you can go outside of those sections. You can have stray strands of hair going right down into her face if you want. I almost put it right into her eye, and then I thought, oh, that would be uncomfortable, so I didn't do it. I don't want her to be uncomfortable. Okay, so we're going to darken where we want some shadows to really go. And then these bottom parts down here, again, you don't have to stick with the sections that you drew originally. Those were your guides. Now, you can stray out of that. You can break the barriers that you, or the guidelines that you set up, and you can just really have fun building up texture, building up some gorgeous dark shadows. Maybe she has some nice, beautiful hair on that side of her face. And you just keep going section by section. It's a long section right there. But you can loosen that line so it doesn't look so strict by just going over and blurring it with some nice texture. Remember, the ends don't have to all follow those section rules that you put down before. And this side of her hair is going to be a bit darker because shadow, more shadow on this side. Always bear in mind where your light is coming from if you're going to be doing shading. Otherwise, it'll just look kind of weird if the shadows don't match up, like they're all coming from the same direction. Just keep going with that same pencil gesture, that same tight S shape. And you can go gently into any part of the hair and add that nice tighter S shape if you want to just make sure there's texture in all of it. And you don't have to stay even within the confines of the outline of her hair. So you want her to have maybe some individual strands flowing right outside of the confines of the original boundaries of the hair. They can go wherever they want. Remember, individual strands of hair, as long as you keep that same gesture, that same textured movement, it's gonna look like it has some beautiful texture going on. You can always go back with your eraser. If you're like, oh my gosh, no, I really wanted some more of those highlights, just go back with your eraser. Do some nice textured highlights, maybe on the side where the lighting is really hitting her head. Again, don't stick necessarily within the confines of the boundaries that we first drew. The hair can have a lot more fun now. We've got the shape, we've got the lighting down. Now we can just really have fun. And remember, it's just a sketch. It's just a quick sketch. It's for fun. It's for creativity. It's to encourage you to draw more and try some new drawing techniques. Soften anything you want with your blender. If you really like that soft look, then go ahead and blend, especially those darker shadow areas. Look at that. And with this technique, you can also, put the hair in different types of sections, maybe pull her hair up, style it a different way. But now you know a nice, quick, and easy way to sketch some curly hair. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me in the studio. Remember to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss the next video, and stay creative.